That's my talk.
What's up, everybody? This is Trey Biddy with HawgSports.com coming to you from the University of Tampa for day 3 of on-site Outback Bowl practices for the University of Arkansas. Practicing right over here at the lacrosse soccer fields. Tyson Morris is back out there today. That's a good sign. You know, they were kind of talking maybe Thursday, get him back, but it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday, the 29th. Days kind of start running together out here. You know, I've had some interesting thoughts about the way bowl games have gone this year and stuff. And, you know, obviously, I'm not trying to make excuses for the SEC or anything, but the SEC is 0-4. And I went back and looked at Mississippi State's opt-outs and stuff. And, you know, I just kind of get the impression that if this was a regular season game, you know, things would have turned out differently for all the SEC teams because, and I know I said yesterday, a lot of this is about who wants to be here and who doesn't. And don't mistake that Penn State has players that want to be here and stuff. But, you know, when you look at the teams that SEC teams are playing right now and they've lost to, it's, for the most part, a lot of teams that really want to be there. And that makes a difference. It does. It does make a difference. And I just know that from people I talk to, you know, in and around close to the situation at Arkansas, that they really do want to be here. And I think you can see that from the level of opt-outs. You know, they had, obviously, Traylon Burks, who's going to be a first-round draft pick, and, you know, Trey Williams for obvious reasons. But other than that, that's it. And Penn State's had a lot of key players opt out, and they're going to have a lot of players that really want to make their mark and prove themselves. And Arkansas is going to have that too. You know, since I last talked to you guys, we talked to several Razorback players. We're going to talk to a few more today. We talked to, let's see, who we get yesterday? Rocket Sanders, who, you know, that's a guy that has a lot to prove in this game. He kind of dipped down a little bit as the season progressed. Now, mid-season, he had an 17 carry game against Ole Miss and had a really good performance. But, sorry, the audio is going to be a little tricky, guys. My lav mic I usually pin on right here for walking talks. I reached in my bag and it was just a copper wire sticking out. So it's broken. So I may get back to the hotel and order a new lav mic. So I'll be able to do the post-game walk and talk. But anyway, Rocket Sanders has a lot to prove in this one. John Ridgeway is another guy we talked to. Guy with a lot to prove. I fully think that John Ridgeway, you know, we're seeing his last game. I think he hasn't announced formally or anything, but I think we're seeing his last game, an opportunity to really improve his draft stock. And you know, talk to KJ and who we talked to, one other, Grant Morgan, of course, who had the Burlsworth Trophy with him. He was presented with it yesterday, and those guys all desperately want to be here. Grant Morgan called it his national championship game, the biggest game that he's played in at Arkansas, which is kind of crazy to think about. But if you really got to go back to probably 2011, when you consider all the implications. Now, there's been big games, Texas game. You know, when you look at all these games individually, it's easy to say that this is the biggest game or that's the biggest game of somebody's career, or, you know, how important it is, or, you know, when Arkansas was up in the top 10, how important those games were. But, as a final deal to a season, an opportunity to win 9 games, an opportunity to finish in the top 20, all of those things are really, really big for Arkansas. And I'm not saying Penn State's not looking at the thing at the same way, but I think when you look at a lot of the teams around there, how's it going? When you look at a lot of the teams around there that have lost, I mean, I do think that there's a big implication of who wants to be there and who doesn't. You know, bowl games more and more seem meaningless if you talk to players or their agents. Not that agents are talking or anything, but I think that they have a big say in some of these guys' decisions. But is this game meaningless for Rocket Sanders, who's from Rockledge, Florida, 130 miles from here? Probably not. Warren Thompson. I mean, there's not a lot of Florida flavor on this team, but you know this game means something to Grant Morgan. This is his last time to wear a Razorback uniform. You don't think John Ridgeway's thankful for the time that he's had at Arkansas? You know, just watching practice today, I mentioned Tyson Morris is back out there. Like I said, Tyson, I believe Devion, and Warren Thompson were the starting wide receivers today. You know, the grass is a little slick out there. That's the only thing about the lacrosse field. It's a little bit slick. I would imagine it would feel like, because everybody's raving about the grass at Raymond James Stadium. Which, how cool is that too? I mean, to really think about that, I don't know that I've really just thought about, you know, they're playing where the Tampa Bay Bucks play, defending Super Bowl champions, and the site of last year's Super Bowl. What a rare opportunity that is. But they say the grass there is immaculate. The grass there at Spartan Stadium, Pinson Stadium, I should say, for the lacrosse soccer field. It's a little slick. It's a little bit nicer weather day. I definitely overpacked, y'all. Like in terms of like long sleeves, pants. I have one pair of shorts that I'm wearing right now, so I may have to go buy some stuff. But it's actually a little bit breezier today. It was just kind of stale yesterday and hot, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? But it's a little bit better today. All right, these are just little short walk and talks. We'll do the main thing on. I hope the audio is okay. It's breezy, so I'm sure it's just like all that stuff. Got some stuff I'm overlaying on this video so you can see. It's not a live walk and talk, so you can see some of the stuff from practice. And they've got a full day today. Today is a really full day, actually. They've got Busch Gardens. The players get to go do that, and media and whoever else. I don't know if I have time to do that with all the other stuff we have to do. We got a press conference here in about an hour with the players. This is a little bit of a shorter practice. We got a press conference at 11:15 a.m. and then we've got a joint press conference at two different locations, one at the player hotel and then at the media hotel. We got another press conference with James Franklin and Sam Pittman, the joint press conference that they do for all the bowl games. Overall, it's been fun here. I've enjoyed my time. There's a beach day tomorrow. Thursday is actually kind of a quiet day overall. I don't think we have open practice, no media availability in terms of like sitting with the coaches and stuff, aside from their beach day. I don't even, like there's a tug of war with the cheerleaders, the marching bands do something. There's a key lime pie eating contest, I think. So yeah, tomorrow's kind of a light day in terms of media access. Today is a pretty full day with all the press conferences and the Busch Gardens deal. I don't know if I'll be able to go to that, but we'll see. All right, everybody. I guess I better head over to the player hotel for these press conferences. But thanks for joining me for these little short walk and talks. And we'll be back with you guys. I guess maybe I'll do one tomorrow. I don't know. Just depends on what kind of information comes out. Like I said, no practice tomorrow. So no open practice, I should say. It's closed. So maybe we'll just wait and do one before the game. Anyway, go to HawgSports.com. Arkansas basketball starting play today, 4 o'clock. That's a time change. It was 8 o'clock, but they moved it. So be sure to follow HawgSports.com for Curtis Wilkerson and all his basketball coverage. Of course, plenty of recruiting stuff going on, and plenty of stuff coming from the Outback Bowl. HawgSports.com for those of you who don't follow, but just follow the walk and talk. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This has been Trey Biddy, HawgSports.com. We'll catch you next time.